True strength is not loud. It does not announce itself. It lives quietly in the heart, where only Allah can see. Strength is not measured by victories, nor by applause, nor by power over others. It is measured by sincerity, especially in hidden moments when no one is watching. Faith tested in public is easy. Faith tested in solitude is real. When temptation whispers softly, and no one would ever know, that is where strength is revealed. Not in battlefields, alone, but in private choices, in unseen struggles, in silent restraint, in unseen obedience. The strongest believer is not always victorious outwardly, but inwardly steady, firm in intention, patient in hardship, grateful in ease, aware that Allah sees all, even when the world looks away, especially then, because Allah never looks away, not even for a moment. Many can act righteous in front of people. Few remain righteous alone when desires rise, when excuses appear, when shortcuts seem harmless. True strength says no, not out of fear of people, but out of awareness of Allah. This is taqwa. This is real power. History remembers battles, but Allah records intentions. The unseen struggle counts more. The quiet resistance matters deeply. Holding the tongue when anger burns, lowering the gaze when desire calls, staying honest when lying is easy, remaining humble when pride invites. These are unseen victories, known only to Allah. No crowd cheer. For restraint, no applause. For patience, no trophies. For sincerity, yet Allah rewards them fully, without delay, without loss, without injustice, because Allah is just, and Allah is aware of what hearts conceal. Strength choosing, obedience over impulse, again and again, even when tired, even when lonely, even when misunderstood. Faith grows, strongest in silence, where intention is pure, where ego finds no audience, where sincerity breathes freely, unseen by creation. Allah does not need witnesses. He is the witness. He does not need proof. He knows the truth already. The heart that fears him privately is honored publicly or secretly, according to his wisdom, not according to our expectations. Strength trusts that wisdom, without complaint, winning a battle may change history. Winning the self changes destiny. One is temporary, the other is eternal. True strength prepares for the akhirah, not for praise, not for recognition, only for Allah's pleasure. That intention alone is strength, pure and sufficient, when no one sees, when no one knows, when no one would blame you, and you still choose Allah. That choice is power. That restraint is victory. That sincerity is honor. This is true strength, quiet and beloved. To Allah, strength is standing firm when no reward is visible, when effort feels unnoticed, when goodness feels heavy, and shortcuts feel light. Faith chooses to Allah, even if the road is quiet, even if it is long, even if it is lonely. Strength accepts that loneliness. The believer understands something deeply. Allah sees what people miss. Allah values what the world ignores. Hidden patience outweighs public success. Silent obedience outweighs loud achievements. A sincere heart outweighs powerful actions, because actions depend on intention, and intention belongs to the unseen. Only Allah fully knows it, and only Allah judges it perfectly. Many people win arguments. Few win against their ego. Many conquer land. Few conquer desire. Many seek control over others. Few seek control over themselves. True strength begins there, inside, where struggle is constant and excuses are many. The strongest moments often go unnoticed. When you forgive without being asked, when you remain honest at loss, when you stay patient under insult, when you resist temptation alone. These moments shape the soul quietly, permanently, without applause, without witnesses. Faith is not proven by ease. It is proven by restraint, by discipline, by consistency, by choosing Allah repeatedly, even when tired, even when discouraged, even when unseen. Strength endures without recognition, because it seeks Allah alone. The heart that obeys privately grows strong, not proud, not arrogant, just firm, just grounded, just aware. It knows Allah's promise is true, even if fulfillment is delayed, even if reward is unseen, even if hardship continues. Strength is trusting Allah's timing without rushing Him, without questioning His wisdom, without doubting His mercy. This trust is not weakness. It is spiritual maturity. It is submission with dignity. It is patience with purpose. It is faith with depth. It is strength refined. Some battles are loud and visible. Others are silent and constant. The silent ones never end. They follow us everywhere, in choice, in thoughts, in intentions, in moments of solitude. That is where faith lives or fades. Allah honors those who remain faithful unseen. Their reward is not wasted. Their effort is not ignored, even if people never know, even if history never records them. Allah records everything. Nothing sincere is lost. Nothing faithful is forgotten. Nothing patient is wasted. This is Allah's promise. True strength does not seek recognition. It seeks acceptance from Allah. That acceptance is enough. That approval is sufficient. That nearness is reward. The believer understands this and stands firm, quietly, faithful without witnesses, strong without noise and content. With Allah, strength does not rush to be seen. It remains steady in the unseen. It grows where no eyes follow. It strengthens where no praise reaches. The believer learns to be content there, in quiet obedience, in consistent restraint, in unseen sincerity. This is where faith matures, away from noise. When the heart is alone, it is tested most, not by hardship alone, but by ease, without supervision, by freedom, without limits, by choice without consequence from people. True strength chooses restraint, then not because of fear, but because of awareness. Allah is always present, even when others are absent. The believer understands accountability, not as burden, but as honor. To be seen by Allah, to be known by Allah, to be accountable to Allah alone. This understanding shapes behavior, even when no rule exists, even when no punishment follows. Faith becomes self-governing. Strength is refusing what harms the soul, even when it benefits the ego. Strength is delaying pleasure for eternal reward. Strength is patience without bitterness, endurance without complaint, trust without demand. These qualities build quietly over time. With consistency, many actions look small outwardly, but weigh heavy in the sight of Allah. A restrained word, a lowered gaze, a silent prayer, a hidden charity. These are unseen pillars supporting the believer's heart, strengthened by sincerity, protected from pride. Faith is not proven by intensity alone. It is proven by consistency, by remaining steady across time, in private and public alike. True strength does not change with audience. It does not rise with praise. It does not fall with criticism. It remains anchored in purpose, pleasing Allah, nothing else. The believer may stumble, but returns quickly. Repentance is part of strength, admitting weakness before Allah, without excuses, without delay. This humility purifies faith and strengthens resolve again and again until the end. Strength does not mean perfection. It means persistence, continuing, despite failure, choosing Allah after every fall, refusing despair, rejecting hopelessness, trusting Allah's mercy. More than one is mistakes. This trust fuels strength. Quietly, when no one is watching, the heart reveals its truth, not through words, but through choices, through restraint, through consistency, through intention. This is where strength lives, not on stages, but in solitude. Allah loves deeds done quietly, without seeking attention, without seeking validation, without seeking reward from people. These deeds build resilience and sincerity and lasting faith. That does not depend on circumstances. This is true strength, steady and unseen. Strength remains when motivation fades, when excitement disappears, when faith feels heavy and discipline feels slow. The believer continues anyway, not chasing feelings, but honoring commitment to Allah alone. This is endurance, quiet and firm. Many people rely on emotion, but emotion rises and falls. Faith rooted in truth remains, even in dryness, even in routine, even in repetition. Strength understands this and accepts consistency.
Repetition, prayer after prayer, choice after choice, restraint after restraint. No single act defines strength. It is built gradually, through daily obedience, through small sacrifices, through honest intention, seen only by Allah. Strength accepts human limitation. It does not demand perfection. It seeks sincerity, a heart that tries, a soul that returns, again and again. Allah values return. Allah values effort. Allah values truthfulness, even in weakness. When no one praises, when no one thanks, when no one notices, the believer remains steady because the purpose is clear. Allah is enough. His knowledge is enough. His reward is enough. His mercy is enough. Strength rests there. Silence often carries faith. Not every belief needs announcement. Not every struggle needs explanation. Allah understands without words. He knows the weight carried. He knows the effort made. He knows the sincerity hidden. Nothing is unclear to him. This awareness gives peace and firmness. Strength does not compare itself. It does not measure others. It focuses inward, on intention, on action, on consistency. Comparison weakens sincerity. Contentment strengthens. Faith grows quietly, without rivalry. The believer understands success differently, not by results alone, but by obedience, maintained, even when results are unseen, even when progress is slow. Allah judges by effort, by intention, by truthfulness, not by applause, not by numbers. Strength allows patience to shape the soul, to soften, to humble it, to stabilize. This patience is active, not passive. It chooses restraint over impulse and trust over control. Again and again. When no one is watching, the believer chooses Allah. That choice defines strength more than any visible victory, more than any public success. It builds a heart, steady, faithful, quietly strong, and pleasing to Allah. Strength is choosing restraint over reaction when anger feels justified, when silence feels unfair, when patience feels costly. Faith chooses patience anyway, not because it is easy, but because Allah is watching, and that awareness is enough. This is inner power, quiet and steady. Many people react. Few reflect. Strength pauses. It considers consequences. It considers intention. It considers accountability before Allah. This pause protects the soul from regret, from harm, from excess. Faith teaches balance between action and restraint, between speaking and silence, between effort and acceptance. Strength lives in this balance, not in extremes, not in recklessness, but in measured obedience, guided by knowledge, anchored in sincerity. The believer learns to carry weight quietly, responsibilities, temptations, expectations, without complaint, without display. Allah knows what is carried. Allah knows how heavy it feels. This knowledge brings relief and steadiness. Strength is remaining honest when lying is easier, feels rewarding. These choices shape character slowly, permanently. With Allah's permission, strength grows unseen, like roots underground, holding everything upright. The believer accepts uncertainty without panic, without resentment. Trust replaces control. Tawakkul replaces anxiety. Strength rests in that trust, not passive, but aware, acting responsibly, leaving outcomes to Allah. Faith does not promise ease. It promises meaning. Meaning in effort, meaning in restraint, meaning in patience. Strength understands this difference and chooses meaning over comfort again and again, even when unseen, even when misunderstood. Strength does not demand immediate results. It accepts delayed reward. Allah's timing is trusted, not rushed, not questioned. This trust deepens faith and calms the heart, even in difficulty, even in waiting, even in silence. When no one applauds, when no one notices, the believer continues because sincerity remains. Allah remains. Accountability remains. This consistency defines strength more than visible success, more than public victory. Strength belongs to the faithful, the strongest. Hearts are often unseen, carrying faith quietly, carrying patience steadily, carrying trust sincerely. Allah sees them fully. Their effort is recorded, their sincerity preserved, their reward secured. This is true strength, faithful when no one is watching.